Snippet. Most of the film is actually a scripted movie.
It is a movie.
That's what
threw me off.
I mean, it's like 80%, I would say, and like 20% documentary, maybe 25%. Very, very, like the interviews were very sparse. There was actually a really long point, where it was like there was no injection from the interviews at all for like probably like 30 minutes or more.
I think that's when I turned to you and I said, we can use some of these concepts for our film, but we don't have the budget to make a movie. We have a budget to make a documentary with some reenactments.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that overall, what was interesting to me from the standpoint of an independent film, inexpensive locations, things like that, I think that they did a really good job creating the scope. So like in the part of the movie, they go to New York, they meet with somebody, and they're driving into New York. You see the skyline through the car, that kind of a thing. But when you break down the shots that were actually in New York, it was fairly simple. Like but they did a good job in giving that scope and that feel.
But they casted it really well.
They did, yeah. So they had Evan Peters was the Quicksilver in the old X-Men, and then he was in WandaVision as an alternate reality Quicksilver. And then there's Barry Keoghan, who's in a lot of weird movies, but he was in Dunkirk and Chernobyl. Yeah, Chernobyl. So that was, and so I was like, you see those people, and it was really cool because typically documentaries cast nobodies, right? Right. There's not a lot of like named actors, but it was really interesting that this was billed as a documentary, but then also it had the cast up on the poster, and that was very unique. You don't see that very often. Yeah. I've never seen it before. If it's happened before, if other people can point to other documentaries, well, I mean, I would say that I guess it's kind of similar to the Band of Brothers in that way, right? So there's some like documentary elements to that, and they would build that as a documentary. But then David Schwimmer was in it, and famous actors